You watch the last sunset. It is a spectacle of cosmic grief. The star bleeds light across the void. Your star, your home for longer than you can remember. It shudders and swells one final time. A ruby wave washes over your ship. The light of 1 billion years dies. You are the only witness. There is no one left to tell. The star's name was Sul. You have outlived it by eons. This new star had no name you knew. You just called it Hearth. Now it is a corpse light, a fading cinder in the endless dark. Your ship, the Wanderer, drifts in the silence. Its engines are quiet. Its metal skin cools in the ghost heat. Inside, you do not move. You sit in the cockpit. A single chair before a wall of glass, watching the death of a sun. It is a lonely occupation. You are very good at it. You have seen galaxies born. You have watched them spin into grand designs. You have seen them wither and die. All from this chair, through this viewport. You are the last human, a ghost in a machine of memories. And your star has just gone out. A soft chime breaks the silence. The ship's intelligence speaks. Its voice is calm and steady. A voice you programmed countless lifetimes ago. External temperature is stabilizing. It says, stellar collapse is complete. You nod slowly. Another chapter ends. The book of existence is long, and you are its only reader. Your journey must continue. It always does. You push yourself from the chair. Your limbs are stiff. Time does not touch you, but stillness does. You walk through the silent corridors. The Wanderer is not a ship. It is a tomb, a museum of a lost world. Every step is an echo. You pass the arboretum first. Great, crystalline trees stand silent. They are petrified ghosts of earthly forests. Their leaves of quartz never fall. The air here is sterile, but you can almost smell the soil, the memory of rain on pine needles. A scent lost to time. You trail your fingers along a trunk. It is cold and hard. Nothing like the living bark you remember. A memory of a memory. Is it real? Or just a story you told yourself? A story repeated for ages, until you believed it was your own. You move on. The next chamber is the gallery. Canvases line the walls. They show faces of people you never met. Their eyes are full of hopes you cannot share. They painted sunrises on a world of blue skies. They painted fields of impossible green. These are colors you have not seen, not in 1,000,000 years. You pause before one painting. A woman with a sad smile. Her name is lost, her story forgotten. But her smile remains, a relic of a forgotten emotion. You try to mimic it. Your facial muscles feel strange, unused to the task. Further down the hall is the archive. Here, humanity's knowledge rests, stored in silent crystals, the sum of a species' genius, their songs and their science, their poetry and their mathematics. All of it is here. All of it is yours. And all of it is useless. You pick up a small, heavy object. It is a snow globe from old Earth. A tiny city is trapped inside. You shake it gently. White flecks swirl around miniature towers. A manufactured blizzard in your hand. It was a foolish thing to save. A toy. But it felt important then. It feels important now. A world you can hold. A storm you can command. The silence of the ship is absolute. It is the perfect quiet of the void. You have grown used to it. Or so you tell yourself. But sometimes the silence screams. It screams with the voices of 10 billion ghosts. The ghosts of everyone who ever lived and died, leaving you behind. You are not entirely alone. The ship's mind is with you, a constant, quiet companion. It manages the ship's functions. It maintains the delicate balance of life support. It has done so for longer than human civilization existed. Its voice breaks the quiet again. Anomaly detected. It says, "You stop." Your hand freezes on the snow globe. "Explain." You command. Your own voice sounds rough, like a stone grinding on stone. You speak so rarely. The words feel heavy in your mouth. "A signal." The ship replies, "Patterned energy emission, non-random." Your heart, the mechanical one, gives a sudden, hard pump, non-random, in all your travels, in all the dead galaxies and empty systems. You have found radiation. You have found gravity waves. You have found the echoes of creation. But you have never found a pattern. The universe was noisy, but it was not talkative. "Source?" you ask. You are already moving, walking faster now. Back toward the cockpit, back toward the window on the void. "Unknown origin," the ship says. Triangulating now. The signal is weak, but it is coherent. It repeats. You break into a run. The silent corridors echo with your footsteps. The first real sound in ages. Hope is a dangerous thing. You had buried it long ago. But it is stirring now. A monster in its tomb. You reach the cockpit. You sink into the command chair. The star chart materializes in the air before you. A three-dimensional map of this dead patch of space. A single point of light blinks. Red and urgent. The signal is a sequence. The ship reports. Prime numbers. 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 11. The oldest message in the book. A greeting card to the cosmos. Sent by someone who believed somebody else was out there. You were wrong. For all this time. You were profoundly, beautifully wrong. You are not alone. A course is laid in before you ask. A line of light stabbing toward the blinking red dot. The journey is long. Decades, even at your impossible speeds. But what is a decade to you? A blink of an eye, a turning of a page. You have an eternity to spare. Engage, you say. The word is a prayer. The wanderer comes alive. Its engines thrum with ancient power. A soft vibration runs through the deck. The ship turns its nose toward the signal, toward the first sign of intelligent life in a million years. The stars outside the viewport streak into lines. Then they blend into a tunnel of pure white light. You are on your way. The journey passes in a trance. You do not sleep. You do not need to. But you drift through the ship's archives. You revisit the records of first contact, humanity's old, optimistic dreams. They had imagined beings of all shapes. They had written stories and sung songs all about this moment, the moment you are living now. You feel a tremor of fear. These dreams were so often nightmares, stories of invasion and conquest, of misunderstanding and war. You are one human in one old ship. What if the signal is a trap, a lure for lonely travelers? It is a risk. But the alternative is silence, an eternity of it. You would rather face a monster than face that. The decades pass. The ship's mind alerts you. Approaching signal origin. You return to the cockpit. The FTL drive disengages. The tunnel of light collapses. The stars snap back into sharp points. But you are not in empty space. You have arrived in a stellar nursery. A nebula of breathtaking beauty surrounds you. It is a cloud of gas and dust, but it glows with its own light. Swirls of magenta and deep indigo. Ribbons of gold and emerald. New stars are being born here. Their infant light illuminates the gas. It is a cathedral of creation. And the source of the signal is at its heart. They are here, the ship says. The signal is now a greeting. They are aware of our presence. Your sensors try to scan, but the readings are impossible. The nebula itself seems to be the source. There are no planets, no structures, no ships, at least no ships you can recognize. Then you see them. It is not a sight your eyes can truly process. Your mind struggles to build a metaphor. They are like weather patterns with intent, immense swirling vortexes of gas and light, living auroras. They dance in the heart of the nebula. They are the size of moons, and there are thousands of them. These are the star, sailors, the Kir, Rin, creatures not of matter, but of energy and plasma. They glow with soft, internal light. They communicate not with sound, but with pulses of light and gravity. The ship's translators work furiously, turning their language into something you can understand. A single being detaches from the glowing mass. It approaches the wanderer. It is larger than the others. Its light is older, wiser. It flows around your ship, a silent, inquisitive river of plasma. You feel its mind touch yours, not with words, but with pure concepts. Curiosity, awe, and a deep, profound caution. You are an anomaly to them, a rock in their ocean of light. Your ship is a piece of solid matter, hard, cold, dead. They have never encountered anything like you. Their universe is gas and stars. Yours is rock and water, a fundamental difference. You must prove you are not a threat. How do you show peace to a creature of light? You cannot offer a hand. You cannot smile. You have one tool, the ship itself. You send a command. The Wanderer's external lights dim. Its power output drops to minimum. Its shields, always active, deactivate completely. You are showing your throat, an act of complete vulnerability. You then broadcast a message, not of words, but of pure mathematics, a visual representation of the golden ratio, a pattern of universal beauty, a statement that you understand order, that you are not a creature of chaos. You add a small joke for yourself. You hope they don't ask for directions. You are always terrible with maps. The great being pauses. It seems to consider your gesture. Its light flickers, a complex sequence of colors and pulses. The translator struggles. The concepts are alien. It settles on a single word. Inquisitive. The being is asking a question. You respond. You open a channel, not of data, but of history. You send them the image of a DNA helix, the blueprint of terrestrial life. You show them the green fields of Earth, the blue oceans, the faces of the people in the gallery. You show them your long, lonely journey. You show them the death of your last star. You show them everything. You hold nothing back. It is a terrible risk. They could see your technology, your history of violence, your potential as a weapon. But trust must be a two-way street, and you are tired of walking alone. The being of light absorbs your story. It is silent for a long time. The entire nebula seems to hold its breath. The infant stars dim their light. Then the being responds. It does not show you images. It does not send you data. It invites you in. The swirling plasma opens before you. A tunnel forms in the glowing gas. A path into the heart of their civilization. The ship's mind gives a soft warning. Energy readings are off the scale. It is not advisable to proceed. You smile a little. When has anything been advisable? You ask. Take us in. The Wanderer glides forward. It enters the river of light. The ship shudders as it passes through the plasma, but it holds. It is a sturdy vessel. It was built to survive the end of a universe. It can handle a little glowing gas. You are inside their world now, and it is a library. A library of memories. They do not write books. They do not store data on crystals. Their history is written in the stars themselves. You are flying through an archive of whispers. Each protostar, each infant sun is a repository. The Kir, Rin shape the gravitational fields. They encode information in the spin and mass of new stars. Their memories become the physics of a sun, a history that will burn for billions of years. It is the most permanent record imaginable. The Great Being guides you. It is called First Light, a name the translator chose. It seems appropriate. It leads you to a young star, a brilliant blue infant. This is our beginning. First, light communicates. The thought fills your mind, a feeling of warmth in ancient time. You look at the star. Your sensors read its light, and the ship translates. You see their birth, not as a species on a planet, but as a consciousness in the nebula itself. They awoke as the first stars died. They are the children of supernovas, the second generation of the cosmos. First, light guides you past other stars, each one a chapter in their long history. You see them explore their star cluster. You see them learn the language of gravity. You see them achieve a peaceful, unified consciousness. They are a civilization without cities, without borders, without bodies. They are a single, harmonious thought. It is a beautiful story, a story of peace and enlightenment. It fills you with a sense of wonder. But as you travel deeper into their archive, the tone of the memories begins to change. The light of the stars becomes harsher. The story darkens. You come to a star that glows with a sickly, red light. Its radiation is jarring, unpleasant. Here, the mind of First Light says, here is where we learned of the silence. You focus on the star's story. It tells of Kir, Rin explorers, sent out into the wider galaxy. They traveled for centuries, and they found nothing. They found galaxies full of stars, billions of them. They found countless worlds with the right conditions for life. The building blocks were everywhere, but the planets were barren. The silence was universal. They were alone, just as you had been. But the reason was different. Their explorers found evidence, faint traces, the ruins of civilizations long dead, not ruins of stone or metal, but scars on space-time itself, the faint, echoing screams of extinguished consciousness. Something was hunting. First, light leads you to the final memory, the darkest star in the archive. It is a brown dwarf, a failed sun. It emits no light, only a dreadful, crushing gravity. This is what we saw. First, light whispers in your mind. This is the enemy. The memory plays. It is not a story. It is a recording, a direct feed from an explorer craft. You see through its senses. You see it arrive in a distant galaxy, a galaxy teeming with life. Not solid life like yours, but life in many forms. Star-born, silicon, and stranger things, a chorus of a billion minds. Then, the shadow falls. It does not arrive in ships. It is not an army. It is a presence, a wave of anti-existence. It moves between the stars, a hole in reality, a patch of perfect, absolute nothingness. It is a fleet of pure entropy. You watch in horror as it touches the first star system. The star does not explode. It simply goes out. Like a candle flame snuffed. The planets orbiting it stop. Their energy vanishes. The light from their civilizations blinks out, one by one, in perfect, terrifying silence. The shadow consumes everything. Light, matter, energy, consciousness. It is a predator that feeds on existence itself. It moves from star to star, system to system, methodically, efficiently, erasing the galaxy. It is not war. It is pest control. This is the great filter. the answer to the profound silence of the universe. Life does arise, civilizations do grow, but then this thing finds them, and it erases them. The Kir Rin saw this. They retreated to their nebula. They hid themselves in the glow of new stars. They have been hiding ever since. The memory ends. You are left in the dark, floating before the failed star. The silence in the cockpit is heavier than ever before. You finally understand. The universe is not empty. It is haunted. Haunted by a predator that eats light and thought. We are beings of energy. First, light says. Its thought is laced with a sorrow so deep it feels like gravity. It hunts us. We have no defense against it. We cannot fight nothing. We can only hide. You look at the specter of the Kir Rin. These immense, powerful beings, cowering in their nursery. You think of your own journey, your endless, lonely flight. You survived not because you were strong, but because you were small. A single speck of dust in an infinite ocean. You were too insignificant to be noticed. Now you have found them, and they have found you. Your meeting was not an accident. The signal they sent was a cry of despair, a final, desperate hope, a message in a bottle thrown into a dark sea. And you, the last human, have answered the call. A new feeling rises in you. It is not fear, it is not despair. It is something else, something you have not felt in a very long time. It is anger, a cold, hard anger. This thing, this shadow, has stolen the universe. It has murdered trillions. It has enforced a silence of the grave. You cannot fight it. First, light repeats. You are matter, solid. It will consume you just the same. Yes, you say. Your voice is steady now, strong. I am matter. My ship is matter. You look around the cockpit, at the controls, at the solid metal walls. You think of the snow globe, the foolish, solid toy, an object of form and substance. And matter can be shaped. It can be used. You turn your thoughts to first, light. You offer them a new concept, a memory from your own violent history, a forgotten piece of human ingenuity. It is a simple, brutal idea, a concept that a being of pure energy would never conceive of. You show them a shield. You show them a wall. You show them a fortress. You explain the principle of armor, of putting something solid between yourself and the enemy. It is a primitive idea, the strategy of a lesser being, but against an enemy that consumes energy. A wall of dead matter might be the one thing it cannot eat. First, light is silent. It processes this alien concept. A shield, an object with the sole purpose of taking a blow, of standing in the way. It is a thought so foreign, so profoundly physical. The Kir Rin do not have bodies to protect. They have never needed to invent defense. This form. First, light communicates slowly. This armor, it would need to be immense, larger than a sun. Then we will build it that size, you reply. A fire is lit within you. The embers of humanity, so long dormant, now glow. You are no longer just a witness, a survivor. You have a purpose. You have an enemy. And you have an ally. You have control over gravity. You can shape the birth of stars. We can shape rock and metal. Together, we can build a weapon. An alliance is forged, in the heart of a glowing nebula, between the last human and a race of star beings. It is an alliance against the coming dark, an alliance to break the silence. You will not hide. You will not run. You will build. You offer them the Wanderer's entire database, the collected engineering knowledge of humanity, blueprints for foundries, designs for alloys, the science of construction. They have the power. You have the knowledge. It is time to get to work. The Kir Rin are hesitant. It is not in their nature. But your certainty is infectious. We have never built anything solid, first Light says. The thought is a mix of fear and excitement. Then it's a good thing you have an expert consultant, you transmit. There will be some paperwork, though. You feel a pulse of confusion from the Kier, Rin. You follow it up. That was a joke. The pulse of confusion deepens. It seems humor might not be a universal constant after all. Together, you begin the greatest construction project in history. You choose a dead star system on the edge of the nebula, a place with dozens of barren, rocky worlds. The Kier, Rin use their mastery of gravity. They pull the planets from their orbits. They tear them apart, reducing them to mountains of rubble, then to oceans of molten rock and iron. You, from the command chair of the Wanderer, direct the process. You use their power like a fine tool. You shape the molten matter. You forge it in the cold of the void. You create vast plates of armor, miles thick. You layer them with honeycombs of crystalline carbon. You build a fleet, not of ships, but of armored worlds. These are the anvils, worlds designed for a single purpose: to withstand the void, to absorb the blow of the enemy. They are hollow. Inside their armored shells, the Kier, Rin can shelter, safe from the entropy shadow. They are not just shields. They are arcs. The work takes centuries. To you, it is a blur of industry and creation. You feel more alive than you have in millions of years. You are no longer a curator of a dead past. You are an architect of a living future. The ghosts in your ship are silent. They are watching, waiting. Finally, it is done. A fleet of a dozen armored worlds hangs in the void. They are dark, cold, lifeless. A wall of matter waiting for an enemy of nothing. The Kier, Rin take their places inside. A great migration of light and energy, filling the hollow worlds with their consciousness. You remain in the Wanderer. Your small, ancient ship looks like a child's toy. Next to the immense anvils, you are the command center, the fleet admiral, the only being in the fleet with a physical body, the only one who understands the brutal logic of a physical fight. Then, it comes. A sensor alert screams through the cockpit, a familiar signature from the Kier, Rin's dark memory. The shadow is here. It drifts into the system, a hole in the stars, a fleet of perfect, silent entropy. It expects no resistance. It has never found any. It moves toward the Kier, Rin's nebula. It senses the life there, the energy, the feast. It does not see the dark worlds you have built. They are cold and dead, invisible to its senses. It glides past your fortress, on its way to consume your new allies. Now, you whisper. The word is sent to 1,000 Kier, Rin minds at once. Light them up. From within the anvil worlds, the Kier, Rin unleash their power, not as a weapon, but as a lure. They flare with the light of 1,000 suns, a brilliant, impossible beacon in the dark. A feast laid out for the predator. The shadow stops. It turns. It senses the immense energy output. It abandons its path to the nebula. It comes for your fleet. It comes for the bait. You watch it approach on the main screen, a wave of absolute blackness, an army of holes in reality, ready to devour the light. Hold the line, you command. Your voice does not shake. You have waited for this moment your entire life. You are the last human, and you are about to remind the universe what that means. The first contact with the true enemy has begun, and for the first time in eons, the universe is about to hear a voice answer back.